Hey guys, how's it going? KRIPP'S here. So, we have a new Diablo 4 season out today. It is season 11. With it comes a lot of changes with itemization, how defensive stuff works again. We have a whole type of like new crafting, I guess, where you kind of like perm your items with like a sanctified setup at the end. Now, just to be fully transparent here, there's a very good chance I'm skipping this Diablo season. Now, I didn't intend on skipping this Diablo season. In fact, while it was largely off stream, I actually played the PTR a lot leading up to this season because this season was supposed to come out this Tuesday, and that would have left, like, almost a week to play and check out the new season before the new Path of Exile 2 League. Now, they ended up delaying the Diablo season, and instead of delaying it like, I don't know, a few weeks so we could enjoy both games, well, they're making us choose because they are launching their season less than one day before Path of Exile 2 launches theirs. And if you're going to make me decide, I did have a bit more fun playing Path of Exile 2 last season than I did Diablo 4 last season. Nevertheless, I pretty much did all the work and the research, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of pointers on how you can play some of my favorite builds in the coming Diablo season anyway. And who knows, maybe I'll get a late season start later on, or maybe the Path of Exile season will blow and we'll just end up playing Diablo more. Regardless, here it is. Today, Necro minion builds again, of course, but there's a lot of stuff that kind of needs discussing. So in the last season, we had Chaos Armor, where everyone was kind of using the same slots and everything. Yeah, that's pretty much gone. The new crafting system, like when you look at a legendary item, it only has one temper. You don't have like the double temper anymore. Yeah, they're generally a little bit stronger, I guess, but this also means that you need to choose. And that can be a little bit difficult, especially when it comes to like the utility ones. Like you can't get movement speed as easily because everyone pretty much did movement speed utility on their boots. So classes that got a lot of movement speed elsewhere are going to feel a lot better. For example, they also changed how defensives work. It used to be that you needed like 9,000 armor or something, and 75 or $70 resist, $70 resist. And it doesn't work that way anymore. It pretty much works like Diablo 3, where you have kind of like a resistance rating, where each resistance kind of diminishes over the last. And when it comes to armor, it's kind of a similar mechanic. And with this mechanic, the best way to stack up defensive is to have like kind of like a bit of an equilibrium between them. Now, the reason that Necro is winning out from this is because Necro has great capacity to scale up armor and resistances, while most other classes typically focus largely on one. Necro is kind of like the hybrid defensive class. So while, Minion Necro, I'll just be straight, it's not like the best build in the game next season. It can, by the numbers, it seems to be able to do Pit 100 fairly comfortably, and comfort really is the name of the game here. You're going to have fantastic defenses, fantastic speed, not a lot of like clicky stuff. It's still a pretty passive build, and it's just going to be like a lot of fun to play. It is going to be the Skeleton Mage version. Now, this is enabled for a few seasons now through the Hand of Nas unique, which makes your Skeleton Mages into Arc Mages, and they do a whole bunch more damage, and you can use the aspect of service and sacrifice, which doubles the damage of your mages, but because you put it on a two-hander, it triples the damage of your mages, making it pretty absurd. Now, while the build as a core is very similar to previous seasons, there are a lot of changes with how the defenses work. There are also changes with Fortify and how Fortify works. Fortify basically heals you for missing life, and this is very big because you get Fortify from creating corpses, and your minions have a lucky hit to create corpses, and when they create corpses, you Fortify, giving you like a crazy amount of recovery. On top of that, balancing armor and resistances well will just make you a very tanky character. It's really difficult to tell how they're going to, because they always have like a final balance pass before it launches after the PTR. So it might be that the monsters start hitting like way harder than the PTR, in which case you'll still have a really easy time. It's just like such a safe pick. We know it'll work mechanically. We know it's strong mechanically. You'll be able to do Pit 100 and basically level up all your stuff. We also got Ring of Mendeln buffed. It went up like 20% more damage or something, and for this build, that is a sizable amount of damage for the build, so it's not too bad at all. In terms of how the build plays out, it's very likely you've seen it from other characters kind of going around. There's pretty much no changes in the Paragon board. We do have a seasonal mechanic, which is kind of like corrupted or purified like powers in a way. Now, each of the bosses basically has these like essences, and you basically pick one of the two to be purified and one of the two to be corrupted. These are very minimal boosts, I would say. But I just want to kind of be clear why we're choosing these, because there is no real cap for resistances anymore. You just keep getting more and more resistances, and you're just more and more tanky to non-physical damage taken as a result. So if you see resistances, you take resistances. If you see armor, you take the armor. Fortify is life recovery, so it's just really good. And honestly, these bonuses are pretty minimal. Now, beforehand, we used Rahir because Rahir gave us more resistances, and now we still use Rahir because resistances are even more important. The playstyle is very smooth. If you've enjoyed this type of build before, it's very good because while you might not get the Hand of Naz for a while, you can pretty much play exactly this build minus the hand, minus the aspect of service and sacrifice, and you just pretty much play it from level 1, make a few tweaks as you level and acquire items, and just have a full fun experience playing the game. And it's a game. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. If you guys do want to check in on all the different details when it comes to this build, so you can track it and get it at least as a framework, exactly as I have it set up here. It is, of course, on Mobalytics. That's where you can find all my Diablo builds. It's also where you can find my Path of Exile 2 builds. And it's also where you can find my Bazaar builds. How about that? So that will be a link in the description below for you guys. And I hope you guys have a fun time playing this build. I'm also going to cover another build, which is the main one that is like the new minion build for Necromancers. It is the triple Golemmancer featuring the new Mace unique. That'll be in a separate video a little bit later today. So if you are interested in that build, make sure to check it out. That build is expected to be slightly stronger than this one in terms of overall output, but it's not going to be for everyone, because on that build you do need to be spamming the golem button like crazy. It is not a chill build. If you're looking for a relaxing, fun playstyle for minions, this is the build that you want to go for. And if you want to see what the other one's like, make sure to check out the next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.